Hey all, we're finally getting some details on James Gunn and Peter Safran's new DC plans. They're calling this Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters. So I'm going to go over quickly just like a little bit of everything, and then I'm going to release more on each of the new projects. So bear with me on that. It's going to take some time. On the movie front, we have Superman Legacy, which is going to be focusing on Superman. We have The Brave and the Bold. It's going to be a new Batman and Robin movie. We have a Swamp Thing project coming up, Supergirl movie, and a The Authority movie. That's an all new, well, not new, but very little known superhero team. TV wise, we have shows, an animated show called Creature Commandos. We've got a Peacemaker spinoff called Waller that's going to bring back Viola Davis. We have a Lanterns series. Yes, I'm excited about that. And we have a Booster Gold series on the way. Their plan overall is 2 movies a year, 2 series a year, which are going to go to HBO Max, and this is going to be planned out for the next 8 to 10 years. This first part of Chapter 1 is going to be from 2025 to 2027. They want to use their, quote, diamond heroes to help, quote, prop up some of the lesser-known heroes. The example here is that the authorities, which I think he's going to treat a little bit like Guardians of the Galaxy, will be propped up by their connection to Superman. So he's using Guardians as the example in his quote here, but he's saying that, like, Guardians of the Galaxy got propped up because they eventually joined up with Avengers, but I think Guardians was a smash before that, nevertheless. As for the big Ezra question, Ezra Miller will be sticking around for now. They're proud of their recovery process and how well that's going. So we'll see what's going on with that. But that's just generally what's going on with DC. Again, I'll break down each of these projects as more information comes out and as I kind of write it all up. It's a hectic morning, of course. Have a good one, guys. The DCU will be adapting the comic book series Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow into a movie. The movie will be led by James Gunn and Peter Safran and will offer a different perspective on Supergirl compared to past adaptations. The comic book series follows Supergirl as she is approached by an alien girl whose planet has been destroyed and who is seeking revenge. Supergirl, Crypto the dog, and the alien embark on a journey that will challenge them deeply. We've seen Supergirl in the past, of course, with the CW and other little projects, and there's going to be a Supergirl in The Flash. But this feels a little bit more like a cosmic adventure version. While we have Superman worried about home-based threats, we'll have Supergirl heading to space. Maybe a Captain Marvel-like character. We know Gunn knows how to handle his space-based superhero movies. The way he did Guardians of the Galaxy was perfect, so I fully trust him with this. The last thing for us to cover from the DC announcements is going to be Paradise Lost. This is going to be a series for HBO Max, and we'll cover the origin story of the legendary island Themyscira, aka Paradise Island. This is the home of the Amazons and, of course, Wonder Woman herself. Multiple sources at the press event have been saying this is going to be DC's Game of Thrones. So we can expect a lot of high fantasy, very big budget, and warring clans or families or houses. Something where there's going to be a lot of political intrigue. Much like the Lanterns, they're going to want this to be an HBO Max event. Just like we see with The Last of Us and Game of Thrones, all of HBO is focused on this one show when it's coming out. That's the kind of care we need when you're telling a Themyscira story. The Creature Commandos is going to be an animated TV series that will be written by James Gunn and will feature military superhumans, including a human leader, a werewolf, a vampire, Frankenstein's monster, and a Gorgon. The show will also include the character Weasel from James Gunn's Suicide Squad film. The animation will lead into live action and back-end animation, something that we'll see across all of the DCU. Based off this image and what I've been reading, it feels very Hellboyish, so it's going to be a whole new corner for the DC they haven't touched in a long while. The Authority is a high-concept superhero team. The team includes Jenny Sparks, Jack Harkesmorrow, the Doctor, the Engineer, Swift, and Midnighter, and Apollo. They're designed to be a more realistic superhero team. This team was basically a parody for the Avengers and Justice League, but due to superior writing, kind of became a trendsetter for those teams. It actually kind of was trying to push the limit, the envelope. In 2021, DC created a miniseries called Superman and the Authority that saw him leading the team, and will likely be something that we'll see for the DCU. Maybe Superman joining the team for a moment or so. Batman. The new movie is going to be called The Brave and the Bold, and will feature a totally new DCU Batman. This film's going to focus on Damian Wayne, Bruce Wayne's son. He was raised in the League of Assassins, and he is described, quote, a little son of a B, I'll say, because I know YouTube is really picky on that. The film's also going to feature some of the extended Bat family, which has not been done in the movies yet, and it's really cool and is a pretty big part of the modern Batman comic book stories. Now, as for the Batman, played by Robert Pattinson, that's actually going to continue going. Same with the Joker. They're going to be considered Elseworlds stories. I think it's basically our best case scenario where we don't lose everything. But yeah, so the new Batman Batman is going to be called The Brave and the Bold, and it's based off of Grant Morrison's run with Batman. You could buy the 3 omnibuses. They're not cheap, but that's going to be what it's all based off of. I've already ordered the first one. All right, we found out a little bit more about Superman. There's not a lot for it. Things we do know. First off, it's written by James Gunn, possibly going to be directed by him as well. That's not confirmed. Its current release date is going to be July 11th, 2025, and will be the official start of Chapter 1. It'll be called Superman Legacy, and will focus on the balancing of being born Kryptonian and raised in humanity. So he's going to be balancing those two. It's also going to be looking at what does being a good guy or a bad guy mean. Is there really a good or evil? So clearly this isn't going to be black and white. It's going to be much more about Superman dealing with his own goals and personality and morality. He's setting his morality here, which he'll use for the next 10 years of the DCU. But he'll pop up in other projects as well, because DC's using their what they're called diamond characters to prop up some of the newer characters, and specifically he will probably pop up in the Authority, because when DC purchased the Authority comic book from another company, basically, they right away put him into their comic book, The Authority. We'll talk about that in a future date. Next is Booster Gold. This is a DC fandom favorite. He's going to be getting a comedy series that will explore the themes of imposter syndrome as a superhero. See, Booster Gold is a football player from the 25th century who comes back in time to establish himself as a hero. We've seen him a little bit here and there through DC TV in the past, but really this is going to be his show, what he's deserved this entire time. Next, we're talking about the Waller Show. It's going to be for HBO Max. This is going to be a spin-off of Peacemaker and will feature many of the same actors. This is going to be written by Crystal Henry, who worked on Watchmen, and Jeremy Carver, who worked on Doom Patrol. This is going to be the more adult-oriented show, much like Peacemaker was. Definitely not meant for the kids. Now, James Gunn obviously was very much involved in Peacemaker. He's going to be less involved in this. Sounds like he's going to be just a producer. Amazon Studios has hired Phoebe Waller-Bridge to write a TV series as part of a potential Tomb Raider franchise that would include TV, film, and games. Waller-Bridge could also be potentially involved in the movie. You might remember Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag. She starred in that. It was a very, very successful show. And now she's also going to be in the new Indiana Jones. This new TV series will be produced by Amazon Studios, and Legendary is apparently going to be involved. This is part of Amazon's multi-platform approach, which also includes Tomb Raider's single-player games. The Tomb Raider was previously owned by MGM, but now it's completely owned by Amazon Studios. So they're going to do video games, movies, TV. They're all going to tie in together. Basically meaning that nothing from the previous movies or even the video games is going to be touching this. All in all, this is very good news. Phoebe is a very good writer, and she's done some excellent work in the TV field. And Tomb Raider's a hit franchise. They're going to be able to make something really special out of this. And we're seeing Amazon, along with like other big companies, stepping up these multi-universes. The Invincible world is all abuzz right now because Jeffrey Dean Morgan teased fans of the Prime Video animated series Invincible by posting a photo on Instagram of him buying 2 comic book compendiums of the series. He bought 2 and 3, basically the continuation of the story, sparking speculations that he will be joining the show's cast. Robert Kirkman, the co-creator and executive producer, was thanked in the captions, but Amazon Studios has not yet confirmed Morgan's involvement. Kirkman hinted that the future seasons of Invincible would contain new materials not in the original comic books. Basically what's happening here, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who obviously was Negan from Walking Dead, also a Robert Kirkman project, is all of a sudden very interested in Invincible. So now my question is to you guys, would you want to see Jeffrey join Invincible? It's a very tight cast. It's already got Glenn from Walking Dead as the main character, so that makes a lot of sense right there. And I think it'd be pretty funny if Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who played Negan, is fighting Glenn, who plays Invincible. That would be really neat. So who do you guys want him to play? An existing character or somebody all new to the Invincible world? Some gaming rumors going around right now. Ubisoft is developing 2 new Far Cry games, according to insiders. Far Cry 7 and a standalone multiplayer game. Far Cry 7, codenamed Project Blackbird, will use the Snowdrop engine, which is amazing, while the multiplayer game Project Maverick will be set in the Alaskan wilderness and feature mechanics such as permadeath, a backpack system, contracts, and more. Currently, Ubisoft is declining on any of these rumors. Boy, I tell you, that has been a leaky ship. We knew about Assassin's Creed way before they announced it, the Assassin's Creed Mirage, and they just seem to not be able to keep any secrets over there. I put all my money on Ubisoft announcing Far Cry 7 in the next month or 2. Ubisoft's not going to stop making these games. They definitely fit in the Ubisoft formula, and they kind of churn them out pretty regularly. To be honest with you, I enjoy them. I've never found one that I haven't liked yet, so keep on going, guys. Fox's animation domination lineup, including Bob's Burgers, The Simpsons, and Family Guy, has been renewed for 2 more seasons each through 2025. The renewal will keep The Simpsons as the longest running scripted series on TV, covering seasons 35 and 36. Fox's president of scripted programming, Michael Thorne, praised the enduring power of the animation genre and the, quote, infinite fan affinity for these shows. I know for a fan like myself, a lot of times I'll have Bob's Burgers just playing in the background while I'm doing my work, so I can see that totally making sense. The newest of animation domination, The Great North, has also been renewed back in August and is looking to be renewed again soon. Paramount Global is rebranding its premium cable network Showtime as Paramount Plus with Showtime in the US. The two brands will be integrated in the streaming world, and Showtime content will now be available to Paramount Plus premium tier. There is going to be some canceled shows due to this move and everything like that, but the idea basically is that Showtime's not going to be its own standalone streaming service. It's going to all be part of Paramount Plus. Those who already participate in Paramount Plus, which if you're a Star Trek fan you definitely do, you'll note that there's a lot of Showtime content already over there. It's just now going to be official. This might be the first time you're checking out these shows, but it's a good time to jump in for something like Your Honor, Billions, City on the Hill, George and Tammy, that's a new one. And you can even check out some classics like Shameless, Dexter, and Penny Dreadful. My personal favorite from Showtime over the last year has been Yellow Jackets. It's a really good show. Check it out. It's pretty fast.